What up, party people? This is your boy Chaz here with another edition of All Types of Idol, where I tell you what's going down in my mind when I'm watching the top 10 girls perform live on the American Idol stage. Well, not really live because I had to work, so I actually had to go back online and watch all the videos. But now I'm caught up, and now here is what I think. So the first girl up tonight is Mrs. Crystal Bowersox, and I was almost afraid that she wouldn't make it on the stage because of her illness, but I'm so glad that she pulled through and came to deliver this performance. She decided to sing As Long As I See the Light by CCR, and she put a little gospel tinge on it, and I gotta be honest with you, I absolutely loved it. It was a great way to start the show. What I love about Crystal is her honesty and her spirit, you know, and this vocal was very spirited. It almost reminded me of when Janis Joplin is singing, you know, she brings such a spirit to her performance. Now, the one thing I would ask Crystal, and this is going to be a test, I would like to see her next week perform without the guitar, you know. See if she could still bring a good vocal without the guitar, because we know she's really great when she's with the guitar, and that's her. But I don't want people to think that, you know, she's a one-trick pony just staying at the guitar. But all in all, I loved it. Great way to start the show. Next up was a former favorite of mine, Miss Haeley Vaughn, and she did the worst possible thing you can do to me on Idol, and that is to sing a version of The Freaking Climb by Miley Cyrus. I am very over the song. Contestants shouldn't even touch the song with a 10-foot pole. Yet, Haeley decided to do it. And what's even worse is she didn't even sing it as good as Miley. That's a problem, especially in a vocal competition, knowing that Miley Cyrus is not one of the greatest vocalists. At least it would have behooved her to really feel and connect with the emotion of the song, because it's a strong emotional song. And I felt that I lacked that from Haeley. And on top of that, her voice was cracking. She couldn't hold notes. Her key was all over the place, you know. She was trying to change the song up, but, you know, in essence, she was really switching keys for me. It was terrible. Even worse than last week to me. Next up was Lacey Brown, who I thought should have left last week, but she's back to serenade me with her version of Kiss Me by Sixpence None the Richer. Now, I did want to kiss her at first because I really thought that she started out the song very well. I actually liked some of the changes she did in the softer parts. However, when the band started kicking in, that's when I felt it was like karaoke night with, you know, my best friends, and it's like no matter if we mess up, we just smile it off and keep singing. And that's how Lacey came off. I felt that, you know, she was trying to idolize it a little bit, you know, try to sing a little bit stronger in her tone, which doesn't work for this song. I think she should have just kept it soft, because what she did with the soft parts were just fine, you know. I kind of disagree with the judges a little bit. She did try to change it up a little bit, you know. But I really felt that she tried to do too much to a simple song. Again, that's her problem, you know. She's competing in Idol. She has to compete with all these big voices and do this and do that. It doesn't work for her. And I gotta say that it wasn't as good as I thought it was gonna be. Next up was Katie Stevens, 17 years old, and she wanted to show off her young side, so she decided to sing Put Your Records On by Corinne Ray Bailey. And I thought that the song choice, again, was kind of predictable. I can hear any 17-year-old do this version of this song. Granted, she has a great voice, but I really don't think that she's showing it off in the best light. I actually felt that she was singing low, and it doesn't show off what's best about her, which is her higher register, you know? It didn't excite me. I actually felt like she was under the note a lot of the song. And I kind of get what the judges are saying about she needs to pick a little bit of a younger song too. I really would like to hear her sing a JoJo song. Every time I see this girl, I think of JoJo, you know, and she started out as 13, and she has pipes, you know, just like JoJo. So I would love to hear her sing Leave, Get Out, but if she has to pick a ballad, I know JoJo has some good ballads too. Please, Katie, if you're watching, consider looking at JoJo's songbook. because I really do think that you would do her songs justice. But what you showed tonight was only okay. Next up was Didi Benami, and she decided to sing Lean On Me by Bill Withers. Absolutely loved the song, and I actually kind of dug the arrangement, but then also kind of hated it for another reason too. I like what she tried to do with it because it did really fit her voice more. It felt like a Sheryl Crow kind of joint. The problem for me was the key. I felt like she was singing in key where it got to the point where it was getting a little too shrill and thin. Alright? And I felt like she needed to be more grounded in the song, more spirited in the song. And part of that is the arrangement, because I felt like the arrangement took a little bit away from the spirit of the song. You know, that camaraderie, lean on me. You know, even the Club Nouveau version of it had that, you know, kind of spirit in it. This version, I felt like kind of lacked that a little bit, you know. But I felt like Didi didn't need to cry because I didn't think it was as bad as the judges made it out to be, you know. And she's still my homegirl. I still like her. I just think that she still hasn't found the song to really shine. And I want her to make the top 10. So next week she has to pick a really good song, or I feel like she might go home next week. So I really hope you step it up, Didi, because I like you. I don't want to lose you as a favorite. Next up was Michelle DeLamour, and she decided to sing with Arms Wide Open. Now, when I first heard that she was going to sing the song, I wanted to chuck my laptop out the window, bang my head against the door repeatedly, begging, why, oh why must you torture me with such a horrible song choice? But then I listened, and I actually really liked what she did with the song. The first half of that song was like a window into her soul. You know, the song's like self-reflecting on her past life and what she's going to be facing. And I really felt that connection with her, you know. It felt like I was actually viewing someone spilling out their guts and their thoughts. Now, when she came to brighten that up with her vocals, I thought she started out great. In that bridge, I was like, oh yes, give it to me, speak the truth. And then I felt like she overdid it. I felt like she got excited and went sharp on some notes. So I was like kind of let down that it didn't finish strong like how it started. But I now see the potential in Michelle, and I think this will buy her another week. And if she can really knock it out the park next week, I feel she's going to steal a spot in the top 12 from one of the preordained girls who was predicted to go into the top 12. Next up was the silver-haired siren known as Lilly Scott, and she decided to sing A Change Gonna Come by Sam Cooke. Now, I absolutely loved her to death. You know why? She has great interpretation skills, you know? I actually really love that arrangement, and she did it in her style, you know? She doesn't have a big voice like everyone else, but, you know, what she makes up for it is the interpretation skills, and I really felt her tonight. I felt she's getting better at being comfortable on stage and looking at the camera. Now, my problem is the same thing with Crystal. I think she needs to 86 the guitar or the instruments for the next week, just to kind of show that she can be versatile and not cling on to that guitar. I know it's a part of her, but you know, in this competition, you gotta show a little bit of versatility, and you know, she's in her own world, but she needs to, at one point, start being a little bit versatile just for 1 week to kind of garner up new fans, you know what I mean? Or it can get old real quick. But as of right now, I like Lilly Scott, and I want her to stay.